Right, hello lads and lasses, and welcome back to Boys Down Under, where today, wow, what a display. That was an absolute breathtaking performance from Celtic. And I know I'm going to have to say a lot more about it, but before we get into the video though, please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers, so every little bit helps. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, Celtic 2, Motherwell 0. Motherwell undefeated at home this season. Travelling to Motherwell was always going to be a challenge, without a doubt. Yet, Celtic made them seem like schoolboys. They were running around daft, trying to catch the ball, panicking when Celtic ran at them. It was schoolboy behaviour, schoolboy style football from Motherwell. It was poor from them. And look, I'm not here to bag Motherwell, because this ain't a Motherwell channel. I'm here to praise Celtic, because it is a testament to how well Celtic played throughout the full 90 minutes. There was not a bad player on the pitch. Not a single player disappointed me last night. And that is saying something, because this year there's always been at least one. But the fact there was no one last night, hats off to the players, without a doubt. Hats off to them. And look, I said in my match preview that Celtic would win 2-0, which I am pretty proud of myself for. But they would only win 2-0, I said, if they competed at the intensity that Ange expects them to play at for the full 90 minutes. And guess what? They did. The scoreline, it doesn't reflect the game, but it was ruthless from Celtic. I was extremely impressed. Now, myself personally, bit of a stats merchant. I like my stats. I like comparing stats with the other team and comparing it to other games. And I'll give you some right now. 73% possession to Celtic, 27% possession to Motherwell. Huge gap there. Huge gap. Now, Celtic, you expect them to have the bulk of possession, but that number is just silly. It just reinforces what I was saying about Motherwell playing like schoolboys. 27% possession? It's less than a third. Just over a quarter. That is terrible. Terrible. 7 shots on target from Celtic. 0. Zilch from Motherwell. A Motherwell team, undefeated at home this season. They failed to register a single shot on goals. And it goes down to the defensive line. I think it goes down to the defensive line, which we'll talk about in a sec. But they were immense, and we'll get into that in a minute. But another stat for you guys. 88% pass accuracy to Motherwell's 59% accuracy. That is just over half of Motherwell's passes were sticking to the player they intended to go to. That is, yet again, schoolboy stuff from Motherwell. I don't know why I keep on bagging Motherwell. Celtic were ruthless. Yeah, Celtic were so good. Motherwell played great, but Celtic were just better. That's what we should leave it at. Nonetheless, to sum it up, these stats, Celtic controlled the game. Without a doubt, anyone who watched the game will know Celtic controlled that game from start to end, even throughout the full 12 minutes where Willie Collum decided to not referee the game anymore. Celtic still controlled that break where no football was happening. I don't know how, but trust me, they did. And look, it was a clinical performance from Ange and his players, and I think now is a good time to, get into those points I want to discuss more in depth. So the first one is Ange. Big Ange. Ange ball. Ange Postacog Kangaroo. Wonderful, wonderful tactics today. If you didn't notice, the fullbacks today, Bolly Bolingoli and Anthony Ralston, they stayed wide. Mental, I know. No more inverted fullbacks. Maybe there were 1 or 2 moments where maybe they came in, but 99% of the time, Ralston and Bolly Bolingoli were wide fullbacks. And it was amazing to see that. I was shocked when I saw it, because I thought Ange would stick to his inverted fullbacks, sort of formula. But the fact he saw he needed to change it, great work from him. And you know what that did? You know what the wide fullbacks did? It gave the midfielders, McGregor, Turnbull, Rogic, so much space to move in. And we all know that's when they're at their most damaging, when they have space in front of them. Look, the first goal we scored, it may have been off a counter-attack, but Rogic, space, pinpoint, threaded through pass into Jota, who just tucks it in near post with his weak foot. Mental goal. I was so happy with that. That was amazing from Rogic and from Jota alike. And then, puts us 1-0 up. That was amazing. And then you look at what Ange did as well in this match. You may not have noticed this, but Rogic was playing deeper at times. He didn't just stick to Cam in the defensive and attacking formation. It's because he's given Rogic and Turnbull the freedom card to, move around in the midfield. They don't have to be bound to Cam and centre mid alike. And because they're never in the same position, the defence doesn't know how to mark them. The opposition loses track of where these two players are, and it creates gaps where Celtic can just utilise and penetrate the defence and get more goals and goals and goals and going forward. It's great to see. And this says a lot about Ange. It says that he's identifying the weak points of this team. He's understanding what Celtic need to improve on, and he's making those improvements. Because from the Aberdeen game to the Motherwell game, the improvement in that is vast. Like the Aberdeen game, we were lucky to get 3 points. This game, we deserve those 3 points without a doubt. And it's all down to Ange. And he's done wonders yet again in this game. The third thing as well, he did impress me, were his substitutes. Each sub came on and maintained that level of intensity that Ange requires for 90 minutes. Giacomakis came on for who did he come on for? Abada, and moved to striker. You could see his physical presence up top. That was great to see. Near Baton came on into the midfield for Tommy Rogic, whose legs were spent by the end of the match. And he came on and he just assured that midfield, and he held just in front of the defensive line. And I'm pretty sure Near Baton got 100% pass accuracy. Someone who I've bagged so much in the recent times. Impressed me so much. And then Mikey Johnston, who just brought so much finesse onto the pitch. Lovely little touches. All three of those players maintained that intensity Ange wanted. And he got each one right. I've bagged Ange before for his substitutes, not being proactive and being reactive, but today he was extremely proactive. And it helped us get the job done. I don't know what more I can say about that. Now, the second point I want to make is the defensive line. I said a stat earlier that Motherwell had zero shots on target. They had nothing. They were terrible. But it's due to the Celtics defensive line. Tony Ralston, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Carl Starfelt, and Bolingoli, Lakaka's cousin. Now, each player looked so assured in defence. Starfelt did not put a foot wrong all game. I think, honestly, that was his best game for Celtic, without a doubt, since his arrival in the transfer window. That was his strongest showing for Celtic, and it's hats off to him because he's, like I said in the match preview, he's been looking more and more reinforced in the defensive line. He's been looking more stable, and that game shows the progress he's made in the Celtic jumper. What happens when Julian comes back now, I'm not too sure, because both him and Carter-Vickers are playing amazingly. So we'll have to see, but that's another video, that's another topic. Nonetheless, back to the defensive line. We nullified that Motherwell attack. Tony Watt could not do a single thing to us, his former club. The defence worked as a big unit, a machine, some would say. And it was they played instead of playing as individuals, which they have done in recent times, which has led to Celtic leaking easy goals. The wing-backs as well, not only defensively were they so sound, but going forward, they were extremely good. Tony Ralston on the right-hand side, getting forward, linking up with Abada. He put some real quality balls in the box. He almost got an assist with Jota, who just skied it over the bar, unfortunately. And then you've got Bolingoli, only his second game this season. Such a strong showing. His link up with Jota on the left-hand flank. He linked up with McGregor nicely as well. Both of them going forward and defensively were amazing. I can't praise them enough. The defensive line was probably the standout performance of that match, I'd have to say. Look, Bolly as well, the fact he hasn't played in so long, he put out that performance. He almost got an assist. He played such a great ball to Giacomakis, who just decided not to shoot and tried to sweat it. Nonetheless, defense, A+ from me. Amazing showing from them. Very, very impressed. Now, the third point, and the final point, we'll leave it at 3. The third point I want to make is that Thomas, Peter, Rogic, and David Turnbull, just then, they get so much criticism from the Celtic fans. A lot of Celtic fans out there believe that Rogic and Turnbull cannot play in the same team as each other because, their play styles contradict and clash with each other. But surely that game was proof that if you have both of them in the team, Celtic are at their damaging best. Rogic, unplayable in the midfield, always so calm, composed on the ball. And if given space, he will punish any opposition defence. He did it with that incisive through ball to Jota, which opened the scoring for Celtic and broke the deadlock. And Turnbull as well. He was having, one of those quieter games. He was doing what he had to do, but he wasn't really standing out. And then, out of nowhere, screamer, worldie, banger, whatever you want to call it, it was mental. I don't know. I want to see an angle from directly behind the goals because the spin on that ball, Chris Commons-esque, mental. That just had me and my dad out of my seat. Gobsmacked. Could not believe it. If you give Turnbull space in the final third, you will get punished. That sums it all up. And Rogic as well. You saw the two of them, they may not have linked up together amazingly, but individually they performed so well, and together they deconstructed the Motherwell defence and broke them open on 2 occasions, which led to 2 goals and led to Celtic's eventual 3 points. But look, sum it up, 3 points. Celtic got what they needed. It's definitely starting to click for Celtic. I think everyone can see this. If you back the manager, if you put your faith in Ange, he will reward you. And that's 2 wins away from home. That's 2 wins away from home, despite not winning away from home in the league since Valentine's Day. So I guess we move on. I guess Celtic got out of the match injury-free, surprisingly injury-free. That's something else I should have talked about. The fact that the amount of terrible challenges Rogic and Turnbull were subject to, the fact they've both gotten out of the match with only a couple knocks is incredible. Hopefully they're okay for the Europa League clash because it is a huge Europa League clash. We've got Fenerbahce at home in the Europa League, and if we don't win that match, I think you can say not only goodbye to the Europa League after Christmas, but as well to the Conference League. It is a must-win game for Celtic, and I can't say much more about it. We move on to that. We're doing well in the league. We've closed the gap to the top teams. Well, not the top teams, but the teams at the top of the ladder. Hearts and the Rangers, they drew last night. They've both dropped points. Celtic are getting closer. You love to see it. It is what it is. But that is all from me. So remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, hail, hail.